me. But what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy for you end up like Beezy. But make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. Now, for all my YouTube audience, my Twitch audience, your boy Jay has officially started the college football 27 dynasty. You know what I'm saying? So Discord link will be in the description down below. You have to pay $20. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. You have to pay $20 in order to play. You know what I mean? $440 is on the line. You know what I mean? For the first place winner. And for the second place winner, man, $200 is on the line. You feel me? I told y'all, it's like a lottery ticket. You know what I mean? You put 20 in, you play for a bigger and a larger amount. You feel me? But anyways, man, all you got to do, man, if you're trying to join the Discord in the Twitch chat, all you got to do is put an exclamation mark Discord, you know what I'm saying? And a Discord link will pop up. And after it pops up, bro, Cam, my mod, bro, can you please, you know what I'm saying, pin that for him, you know what I mean? But anyways, man, we got how Kirk Cousins outsmarted the entire NFL and made $341 million. You know, now I'm gonna keep it weird. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. I don't know why the Las Vegas Raiders selected Fernando Mendoza as the #1 pick when you literally signed this man to a major contract. You feel me? Like, I was bewildered. I say y'all bewildered. You know what I mean? When I seen Kirk Cousins get that massive of a contract, you know what I'm saying? I was bewildered. You feel me? So you're paying him that much money to be a backup? You know what I mean? He's like one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, and he's going to be a backup. I mean, that's starter money. That's superstar money that you just gave Kirk Cousins. He finessed the Atlanta Falcons. Now he finessed y'all. Like I said, man, the man agent, man, Hall of Famer.
You like that? You like that?
You will probably sit there and tell me that
Hall of
doesn't
Famer.
make any sense. That the sport that cuts running backs at 28, retired defensive backs at 30, somehow handed a career backup nearly $341 million? But that's exactly what happened. Fully guaranteed every single dollar in a league that's built to keep players underpaid. His name is Kirk Cousins, drafted in 2012 as Washington's insurance policy. Nobody was losing their minds. People were actually confused.
This just made me sick at my stomach.
Kirk Cousins? I mean, this dude, he's coming into the league. He knows he's a backup. We'll see what you do years down the road.
Nobody was buying his jersey. The pick barely made headlines.
I mean, I'm just saying, though, you know, so you got to understand he is a man of God, though. That's why I be trying to tell y'all, bro. Like, if you're like a man, I'm trying to tell you, bro, if you're a man of God, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you just have some type of favor, bro. Like, my man got favor. That's all we can literally, like, that's all we can say about Kirk Cousins. He got favor, bro. Favor from the Most High. Because I don't understand how this man is doing this. I don't understand. And the thing is, Kirk Cousins he actually was a good QB before he came to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm telling y'all, the Atlanta Falcons, you know what I mean? They messed up Kirk Cousins. That is the harsh reality when it comes to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he was in Highlight, Minnesota, wrestle me like water. You know what I mean? When he was at Minnesota, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, top 5 in passing yards. Right when he came to Atlanta Falcons, that's when he turned BJ. I'm telling y'all, Atlanta Falcons, bro, turning people BJ. F the ops, man. Atlanta Falcons be killing them, bud. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling y'all, it's not Kirk Cousins. It's the Atlanta Falcons, bro. You feel me? That terrible offensive coordinator did not know how to use Kirk Cousins, bro. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, watch he go ball on the Raiders. I think the Kirk Cousins probably do turn out to be the starter. You know what I mean? Because I know you did not just pay him that much money to sit on the bench. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, I think Kirk Cousins will be the starter. You know what I mean? Fernando Mendoza, you know what I mean, will be the second string quarterback. That only makes sense. I didn't even think y'all was going to draft Fernando Mendoza. I thought y'all was going to trade down, my brother. But y'all buffoons actually drafted him #1.
Cousins has a problem with pocket pressure. He often does not handle it well, tends to panic, and the quality of his mechanics tends to drop, causing poor throws. His accuracy when throwing deep is questionable, lacks the ability to manipulate defensive backs.
But since then, Kirk has been on a 14-year run, quietly robbing the league. And guess what? It's 100% legal.
3-year, $84 million fully guaranteed contract.
The 2026 season will be the 11th straight year where Kirk Cousins' contract is fully guaranteed.
Mike, he has Kirk Cousins $231 million in career wins.
In grand total in 14 years, guess how many playoff wins he got, Ocho? Drum roll, please. One? Man, get out of here.
His stats don't match his contract.
$300 million in salary, one playoff win.
Hey, man. Look, Kirk.
One playoff win.
So how the hell does a 4th round backup pull this off? How does a guy with one playoff win to his name out-earn the greatest quarterback of all time? Now stay with me, because we're going to figure out exactly how he did it. And a quick disclaimer, this is not your typical football story. This is one of the biggest heists the NFL has seen, and it's still going on today.
You said why I dislike Brock Purdy? Cause I don't know. I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like Brock Purdy is a good, I mean, he's straight, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he's definitely not, you know what I mean? I mean, shoot. You say he a man of God, show the same respect. Hey man, shoot. You know what I mean? Hey, props to him, my brother in Christ. We're talking about football at the end of the day. I'm talking about I'm talking about how Kirk Cousins is finessing the league. That's when I brought up man of God. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a man of God, that don't mean I have to like you as a football player. I never get personal, bro, when it comes to football. Have I ever got personal? I don't get personal. You know what I'm saying? I just say you BJ. You feel me? You're not that good of a football player. Brock Purdy is not that good of a football player. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, he is a system quarterback. He's just like Jalen Dirt. You know what I'm saying? He needs an excellent team in order to be successful. You feel me? It's just word up, bro. He was just lucky enough, like I said, God showed him favor. He was just lucky enough to go on a good team, which is called the San Francisco 49ers.
All right, before we get into this, I need you to understand.
Pin it, Discord. Pin it.
It's not a story about greatness. It's not a story about a quarterback who willed his team to a Super Bowl, or a guy who had an arm so gifted that teams were lining up throwing their wallets at him.
All right, look, I'm going to keep it real with you. We're going to stop the Kirk Cousins disrespect right now. You know what I mean? Because like I say, even though, you know what I mean, Minnesota, they didn't really have, they did have a good team. I ain't gonna lie to you. They lost to us. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They lost to us. You feel me? So, I mean, they had a good team. But, I mean, Kirk was like that, bro, in Minnesota, bro. You feel me? Like, let's not act like Kirk Cousins was just like the worst quarterback. He's just like the worst quarterback. Now, he's not a $341 million quarterback. That's for Sholioli. You know what I mean? But we're not going to get in here and just try to like disrespect Kirk like a bum or something. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to do that, bro.
No, this is a story of how a man who was drafted as a backup and somehow engineered himself into over $340 million in career earnings with only one playoff win to show for it. Now, to fully understand how he got here, we got to go back to the beginning. It's April 2012. The Washington
RG3
that have been starving for a real quarterback for the better part of
bro, I thought this man right here, I'm telling y'all, bro, man, this song might be easy. You better take it easy. I thought this man right here, bro, was going to be one of a kind, bro. RG3, I know we all thought RG3 was going to be the next RG3. I'm not going to say the next. We all thought he was just going to be Fido. You know what I mean? So it really broke my heart to see how RG3's career panned out, man. You know,
just traded away 3 first-round picks.
Cam Newton too. Cam Newton, bro. I was like, dang.
RG3 with the 2nd overall pick. He was a Heisman Trophy winner, electric runner, Baylor's golden child, the most hyped quarterback prospect Washington has seen since actually maybe ever. The city of DC was losing their minds. Season tickets were flying off the shelves. Jersey sales were through the roof. For the first time in years, Washington fans actually had hope. And then 100 picks later, in the 4th round, pick 102, Washington quietly drafted the kid out of Michigan State, Kirk Cousins. Nobody was throwing confetti. Nobody was losing their minds.
And I thought it was a dead end. And I got off the phone, and you think it's going to be a celebratory moment of getting drafted in the NFL. And I said to my family, I guess I'm going to Washington.
But let me make this clear. Kirk was not drafted to be the face of the franchise. He wasn't drafted to be the leader in the locker room. He was drafted to be a backup, an insurance policy. The Redskins even said it themselves. They didn't draft him to start. They didn't draft him to compete. They drafted him to sit. That was it. And for his first 3 seasons of the league, that's basically what he did.
He said, all right, so the plan is that you back up Robert, you'll play really well in preseason games, and in 2 to 3 years, we'll trade you.
2012, he played in 3 games.
Dang, bro, my man don't even get an opportunity, but hey, y'all, that's the harsh reality when it comes to the NFL, man. It's a business. My man don't even get an opportunity. It don't matter how good you look at, basically what they saying, it don't matter how good you look at training camp. It don't matter how good you look at OTAs. RG3 is our starter. So bro just playing for fun. You know what I mean? Did you miss me? Bro just playing for fun. So bro was playing for fun for 3 years straight. So yeah, he deserves this. Matter of fact, he deserves this. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't did my man like that. Oh no, I feel like it should always be a even playing field. Now look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins did better than RG3 in the professional level. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? Now who got the last laugh? You see what I'm saying? RG3. Everybody hyping up RG3. Oh, RG3 gonna be this. RG3 gonna be that. Now look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had a better career, 14 years, going in 14 years, still making money. Telling you, God working mysterious ways, bro. I'm telling you, tap better than don't play about his children. I'm telling y'all.
2013.
This is God's working. This is God, bro.
5 games, throw 7
Tell y'all.
interceptions against 4 touchdowns. The team is in full chaos. RG3 is a
Ain't Kirk.
injury report, and nobody's sitting there in the film room going, you know what? Maybe we should develop that 4th round kid. Nah, they were just trying to survive. Then 2014, he played 6 games, 1,700 yards, but a 1-4 record in his starts. The narrative writes itself. Kirk Cousins might be fine as a backup, but he's not an NFL starter. But with the growing disconnect between RG3 and the organization that had given up 4 draft picks to get him, Washington was slowly painfully watching their investment crumble in real time. And as RG3's star faded, guess who was quietly warming up in the background? Kirk Cousins. By August 2015, Washington had seen enough and named Cousins the starter going into the season.
So we have announced that Kirk Cousins will be the starter for 2015. We feel like at this time, Kirk Cousins gives us the best chance to win, and that's where we're going.
And what happened next is the part of the story that changes everything, because Kirk, who was never supposed to be here, went out in 2015 and cooked. He threw for 4,100 yards, a franchise record at the time, 29 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions. He dragged a team that had
it's like RG3, bro. You had this in your hands. Had the franchise in your hands.
Washington went on a 4-game winning streak to close the season and took the division. And along the way, Cousins had one moment that would define him in the public eye forever. Week 7, Washington versus Tampa Bay, the Redskins were down 24-0 at halftime. Most teams in that situation were just thinking, how do we lose with some dignity? But Cousins engineered one of the greatest comebacks in franchise history, eventually winning 31-30. And after the final whistle, with the crowd going crazy and the cameras everywhere, while going back to the locker room, Kirk Cousins let his emotions out on the media guy.
You like that? You like that? Somebody he was talking to RG3. Y'all need to stop, man. He was talking to RG3.
And when that clip got out, America lost its mind. The clip went viral, coaches were quoting it, fans were yelling it at bars. It became a rally cry. At that moment, Kirk wasn't a backup anymore. He was a starter. He was a franchise quarterback. He was, for one shining season, exactly who Washington needed him to be. And now it was time to get paid. And see, this is where the story takes a turn. And I need you to pay close attention here, because this is the moment that sets the entire trajectory of Kirk Cousins' career in motion. This is where we meet the real mastermind behind the money. After the season, Washington...
How do I feel about the Vikings? I actually feel like the Vikings gonna make noise this year, bro. Like, I don't feel like Kyler Murray was like, even with Kirk Cousins, they was like that, bro. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins, they was like that. I just feel like, I tried to tell people about JJ McCarthy, bro. I tried to tell y'all, bro. Only the real ones gonna understand. Only the real ones gonna remember that I said that boy was BJ. What that stand for? Booty juice. You know what I mean? Only the real ones gonna remember when I say he BJ. I said that boy JJ McCarthy is BJ. I called it, but nobody gonna admit it though. You know what I mean? You know how mother ever think you is. Oh, you're hating, man. Stop hating on JJ McCarthy, dude. He beat your Alabama Crimson Tide. You know what I'm saying? He beat your... No, he did not beat my Alabama Crimson Tide. Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards beat my Alabama Crimson Tide. That's who beat him. Not that mother effer. That mother effer wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I tried to tell y'all, bro. So for me, I feel like the Vikings, bro, gonna be a threat with Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? Kyler Murray's not a bad QB, bro. He gets the blame, bro, for a trash Arizona Cardinals team. You know what I mean? The players always get the blame, but not the team. Why the owners never get the blame? You know what I mean? It's like the owners can just do whatever they want, bro, and nobody blame them for nothing. GMs, it's like, golly, bro, like really, like what weapon really? I mean, you got a freaking Marvin Harrison Jr. That mother effer probably gonna turn out to be BJ, a bust. You know what I mean? Was so hyped up to be, you feel me? So hyped up to be this player that he's not even that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, what weapons have Kyler Murray really had? Like, when did Kyler Murray ever had a Justin Jefferson? you know what I mean, an Addison. You feel me? Like, I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be different, but the Vikings gonna be hard. Why
To the table, what
they're gonna be a threat at the NFC, bro.
Is a generous offer.
That's the
roughly
East,
$16
NFC.
million per year, with about $24 million in guaranteed money. Now, in any other universe, for a guy who played left bench 18 months ago, $16 million a year sounds like life-changing money. And Washington probably believed that they were being fair. They probably walked into that meeting thinking Kirk would be grateful. But his
D-Hop, bro. I forgot about D-Hop, bro. I forgot about boy D-Hop, bro.
Offer and looked at each other and said, hell no. Not let's counter, not can we get 18. Just a flat out.
But I gotta understand, bro.
Single decision redirects the entire
D-Hop, bro.
Kirk Cousins' life, because McCartney wasn't just thinking about 2016.
D-Hop haven't really been the same ever since the, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the Texans, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thinking 2 moves ahead. He already knew if Kirk kept playing at that level,
Texans.
Washington will have to use the franchise tag. And the franchise tag meant fully guaranteed money with no long-term risk. No, let's see how the next season goes escape hatch from the front office. Just a massive guaranteed check.
Well, when I sat down with the Redskins at the Senior Bowl, I said, whenever I look at the franchise tag, I don't look at it as a 1-year window. I look at it as a 2-year window. In other words, if Kirk is 27, he's only started 1 year at this point. Knowing his work ethic, knowing his character, his integrity, he's only going to get better. And you're going to franchise him a year from now.
Washington was thinking about this year. McCartney was thinking about the next 3. So what happened? Washington blinked first. In 2016, they slapped Cousins with a non-exclusive franchise tag worth $19.9 million, fully guaranteed. Let me rephrase that for those in the back. Originally, Washington offered Cousins $16 million per year with $24 million total guaranteed. And when Cousins refused, they immediately turned around and handed him nearly $20 million fully guaranteed for 1 year. The same organization that didn't want to pay him on a long-term deal just handed him more money in 1 season than they were originally going to give him on an annual salary. And guess what? Cousins went out in 2016 and threw for a career high, 4,900 yards.
That's what I try to tell y'all, bro. Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. He's not a bad quarterback. Now, he's not no Tom Brady. He ain't no Drew Brees. He ain't no Patrick Mahomes. He shouldn't be making this type of money. Like I said, that's glory to the Most High right there. You feel me? But he not like no bum, bro. You feel me? I think, man, Atlanta, man, got my boy effed up, man, for real.
Bowl improved at the 2015 season.
Kirk Cousins ain't no
Washington,
ain't no bum, bro.
Tried again to negotiate a long-term deal. Team president Bruce Allen offered him $53 million guaranteed, or $72 million in case of an injury, which would have been the second most guaranteed money ever given to a quarterback at the time. Mike McCartney didn't send a counter offer back. He literally went ghost on them.
I believe the Washington Redskins are about to overpay for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, to me, is not a top 10 quarterback. He's not that guy.
Bruce Allen, in a moment that
I'm not gonna lie, like during his time, bro, during his Minnesota tenure, bro, Kirk Cousins definitely was a top 10 quarterback at the time, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, Skip Bayless, bro, you say a lot of dumb stuff, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. No wonder Shannon Sharp had to scur off the line. You know what I'm saying? You say a lot of stupid stuff, especially about LeBron James. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like your takes, like I question like how, like sometimes I question Skip Bayless, how you get on TV. How you get on TV, bro? You know what I'm saying? Please tell me, how did you get on TV?
And publicly complaining that he couldn't control a chess game. He was clearly losing. Came out and told the media.
We made Kirk an offer that included the highest fully guaranteed amount upon signing for a quarterback in NFL history. But despite our repeated attempts, we have not received any offer from Kurt's agent this year. Kurt has made it clear to me that he prefers to play on a year-to-year basis.
And so, February 2017, Washington came right back and hit Cousins with the exclusive franchise tag, this time worth $23.9 million, fully guaranteed. Again, Kirk Cousins had just become the first quarterback in NFL history to play back-to-back seasons on a franchise tag. An NFL first, not for a Super Bowl, not for a playoff run, for leverage, pure code calculated leverage.
The moment the player signs
Ain't gonna lie, bro, smart,
the franchise or transition tag,
Keep it real,
it's fully
bro.
guaranteed for the year.
And guess how Cousins
Bro, agent.
responded when the exclusive tag
Freaking
was dropped?
smart.
He went on Twitter and said, "Tag, I'm it." And if you didn't understand what was happening yet, what Kirk and McCartney were quietly engineering for 3 years, that tweet was the moment it all became obvious. Washington thought they were controlling Kirk Cousins, but Kirk was playing Washington the entire time. The man was unbothered, while the entire league was watching and wondering if Kirk Cousins was insane for not taking the money. Mike and Kirk were sitting back watching the cap numbers climb, the market expand, and their future earnings multiply with every single day that passed. When all was said and done across those two franchise tag seasons, 2016 and 2017, Kirk pocketed approximately $43.9 million in fully guaranteed money. That is nearly double what Washington had offered him at first. And he had not signed a single long-term deal. Every dollar guaranteed, no strings, no risk, no multi-year commitment that could be cut due to a fluke injury. Think about that. Most quarterbacks in that era were signing long-term deals with partially guaranteed money, meaning if they got hurt, they were done. Kirk structured his entire financial world so that not one penny could be taken back. One injury could have ended everything, and yet, year after year, he walked into the stadium knowing his bag was already secured. This is the foundation. This is where it all begins. A fourth round.
I mean, y'all can say what y'all want to say, like, oh my God, he don't deserve to be. Yeah, it's all the mind game, bro. And that's one thing I understood. I'm like, okay, if you use your mind, if I use my mind, I can outplay. I can, like I said, outbox. I can do all that if I just use my mind, because half of these motherfuckers do not use their mind. So I'm like, okay, if I use my mind in anything that I do, I have leverage around. I have so much leverage over motherfuckers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Using your mind is a powerful, powerful tool. Because usually when the money go, you just jump. That motherfucker was thinking the whole time.
Nobody expected riding alongside.
So at the end of the day, you can say what you want to say.
Him at every single turn.
Bro, a finesse.
One of the sharpest agents in sports quietly engineered the greatest financial power play the NFL has ever seen. Washington convinced him.
I ain't gonna lie. I think the Raiders, bro, gonna be a threat this year. I'm telling y'all, bro. For me, I think the Raiders gonna be better than Kansas City. I'm just saying, y'all. This is not the same Raiders team. The Raiders, bro, I feel like this Raiders team, bro, is going to win a division. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, they going to make a leap, bro. I'm telling you, they're making the playoffs. It's not the same Raiders team. I'm telling you. You feel me? I'm just keeping it. They're better right now. As of right now, the Las Vegas Raiders are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. Be real. They got a super thug that can't stay out of jail. You know what I'm saying? They got a super thug. Rice spent 30 freaking days in jail. What true wide receiver one do they have? Think about it, y'all. What true wide receiver one do they have? You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not doing nothing. They're not doing nothing. And Las Vegas Raiders just slowly creeping.
They were still in charge of the situation, but let me tell you,
Rice is not a wide receiver one. I'm not gonna
the
lie.
entire NFL was going to find out just how much money one backup.
That's super thug. I appreciate the subscription. That's super thug. You know what I mean? That super thug can't stay out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So he's not even reliable. He can't even stay out of jail. You feel me? Bro just literally got out of jail, I think today. You feel me? Today.
So eventually, Washington was done with the games and let him
He a super thug.
2018 season. Kirk is now an unrestricted free agent for the first time. No tag, no leverage tricks left in Washington.
Who the Raiders number one?
Nothing. And the entire quarterback market, it's shaking. Because here's the thing nobody fully appreciated until it was already happening. Kirk wasn't just any free agent. He was the first quarterback of his caliber, starting NFL wins, 4,000-yard seasons, Pro Bowl.
You got me. You say who's their wide receiver one? You got me. They don't have a wide receiver one. But the defense, you know what I mean? The defense. They actually do have a wide receiver number one. If I'm not mistaken, they did sign old boy. I forgot his name. He actually is a wide receiver number one. I forgot his name, bro. They signed him in free agency. You know what I mean? They definitely got a wide receiver one. I forgot his freaking name. But they got, Brock Bowers. Shoot, Brock Bowers, one of the best tight ends in the league. You know what I mean? And like I said, Tyler Linderbaum. You know what I mean? Tyler Linderbaum. Who else? But bro, I'm speaking on the defensive side, bro. You feel me? I'm speaking on the defensive side. Bro, you gotta look at their linebacker core. They probably got the best linebacker core in the league. Let's keep it real, yo. You know what I'm saying? The Kobe Dean. You know what I mean? Quay Walker. You feel me? Like the boys gonna be nice, bro.
level production to ever actually hit the open market in his prime, not coming off a surgery like Peyton Manning in 2012, not forced out of the situation. Just a man, his agent, and leverage that had been building for 6 years. Peyton never hit free agency in his prime. Tom Brady never hit free agency. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, none of them. The NFL is specifically designed to keep franchise quarterbacks locked up. The rookie contract, the tag, the extensions, it's a system built from the ground up to make sure quarterbacks never see the kind of open market that gives them real power. But Kirk and Mike McCartney broke the whole thing. Now let me set the scene for you. It's March 2018, the cap is rising, quarterback salaries are climbing, teams are desperate, and Kirk Cousins, a guy who never won a single playoff game, a guy who just spent the last 2 years proving he was good, was about to become the highest paid player in NFL history. Not because of a Super Bowl run, but because Mike McCartney understood something every other agent in the league hadn't fully grasped yet. In a league,
Lord up next, he said his prime. Lord up next, his prime.
To force one through a multi-year deal would change the sport forever, and that's when it happened. Kirk signed with the Vikings on a 3-year, $84 million contract, fully guaranteed, every single dollar.
Fully guaranteed.
$84 million fully guaranteed contract.
$84 million fully guaranteed. That means fully guaranteed, y'all. Fully guaranteed. All $84 million going to him. Dude, that man, agent right there, Kirk Cousins is probably the smartest football player ever. You know what I'm saying? $84 million guaranteed. Now, 84. Yeah, that's one thing I'm starting to understand, bro. It's still some good free agents out here. I'm surprised Stephon Diggs still a free agent. I mean, Tyreek Hill. I mean, Deebo Samuel. I mean, shoot. I'm surprised they ain't picked up yet.
There's a lot of work to be done, but I believe the pieces are in place, and if we stay humble and hungry, I'm really excited about the potential that exists here.
The signing bonus was a modest $3 million. His base salaries were $22.5 million in 2018, $27.5 million in 2019, and $29.5 million in 2020.
Juwan Jennings not a free agent no more.
Each year on top of that, no escape hatch, no out clause. If Kirk Cousins tore both his ACLs in training camp on day one and never took another snap, Minnesota was hooked on every single dollar. That never happened before. Not for a quarterback, not in the NFL.
This guy is delusional. The Vikings and all of us in the media have fallen into this Kirk Cousins delusion.
How you delusional because he getting money? Like, he's not like how you gonna call him delusional? Just because you don't believe in him, so he delusional? You see what I be saying, y'all, bro? See what I be saying? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna say he delusional because you don't believe in him? You know what I mean? It's not delusional because he believes he's worth the market. He just believes that he's worth it. It's not delusional. That's just called self-belief. That's something that you probably just don't have. So it's delusional is believing in something that's not real. He believes, you know what I'm saying, that he can beat a God. That's not delusion. That's just self-belief. You know what I'm saying? The freak are you talking about?
$8 million.
Juwan Jennings with the Vikings? I forgot he is with the Vikings. Oh my God. I was trying to tell y'all, but them Vikings probably be hard.
Fully guaranteed for a guy who's never won in the postseason? Give me a break.
The contract also included a no trade clause and a no transaction tag clause, meaning once Minnesota signed him, they couldn't ship him out the door and they couldn't use any league mechanisms to hold him hostage. Kirk had total freedom, total protection. At 29 years old, him and his agent constructed a financial fortress around him that no quarterback in the league history had ever managed to build. The reaction across the league was immediate. NFL Network called the deal historic and dubbed Kirk Cousins and McCartney as pioneers. It even had Seahawks wide receiver Doug Bowen calling Kirk a hero, as he went on Twitter and said what every other player in the locker rooms across the country were thinking. Kirk Cousins is the hero for all the young players that will follow after him. Now we need more players to bet on themselves until fully guaranteed contracts are the norm and not the expectation. And in NFL owner boxes across the league, the move was very different, because the moment you give one player a fully guaranteed multi-year deal, every agent in the sport walks into the next negotiation with that contract in their hand. Agents who have spent years accepting partially guaranteed money, years letting teams off the hook if a player got hurt, were now following the Kirk Cousins deal like a blueprint. For a guy who went 0-1 in the playoffs by this time in his career got this, what does my client deserve? NFL owners have spent decades building a system designed to keep players underpaid relative to the cap, and then one phone call between Mike and the Vikings, a significant piece of that wall came down. Now let's talk about what actually happened in Minnesota, because here's where the story gets genuinely complicated. Because Cousins shows up in Minnesota and he was good. good, not legendary, not I fully understand why they paid him that much money good, but consistently professionally good.
He was top 5 in passing yards, so.
Across 6 seasons, he threw for 23,265 yards with 171 touchdowns. He had at least 25 touchdown passes in every season he played there. The Vikings went 53, 45, and 1 in the regular season with him under center. If you squint at those numbers, you would think they're pretty solid. But here's what they also look like. The numbers of a man who is very good at taking your money and very average when the lights are the brightest. Minnesota came back in March of 2020 and signed Cousins to a 2-year, $66 million extension, fully guaranteed. And then in 2022, they came back one more time and handed him a 1-year, $35 million fully guaranteed extension across the 23 seasons.
Bro got
now let me give you the Minnesota total. Across all 3 of those contracts, Kirk Cousins put in approximately $185 million in fully guaranteed money from one franchise. And let me make this clear, by this time in his career, he was 1-2 in the playoffs as a Viking. This team ain't never made no real playoff run, and the city kept writing him checks because they had no choice, and maybe, just maybe, kept hoping that this time he'd deliver. But he didn't. And then came week 8 of the 23 season, October 29th, the Vikings at Lambeau Field against the Packers. Cousins was 35 years old in his 6th year with the Vikings and was actually playing some of the best football of his career. He had just over 2,300 yards, 18 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions over those first 8 weeks, numbers that would have challenged for the MVP consideration. He was making the doubters look stupid. He was quiet, efficient, and
what's that, Kirk Cousins?
And then in the 4th quarter, Cousins dropped back to pass, pumped left, and planted his right
Achilles.
foot. Buckled. A simple no contact injury. He hopped off the field on one leg and was carted into the locker room and was replaced by 5th round rookie Jaron Hall. And the MRI confirmed he had torn his Achilles and the season was over. At 35 years old, first significant injury of his 12-year career was a torn Achilles. The league watched, everybody was talking, and for a brief moment, the entire sports world looked at Kirk Cousins as his future was suddenly in question and thought, maybe this
he got fully guaranteed.
This is finally the end of Kirk Cousins' money era. He was considered one of the old heads of the league, and he just torn his Achilles and he was headed for free agency. But who in their right minds was going to hand this man another massive contract with one playoff win?
Atlanta Falcons.
Just who? Alright, we need to pause for a second because I've been saying Mike McCarthy's name this whole time and most of you had no idea who he is. Well, he's the man behind the bag, the most dangerous man in the negotiation rooms. Here's the thing you need to understand about what makes Mike McCarthy different from every other agent doing this job. Most agents learn from the outside of the NFL. They learn it from law school, from business programs, from watching games and reading salary reports. Basically, they learn how the machine works from looking through the window. McCarthy didn't look through the window. He built part of the machine. His father, Bill McCarthy, college football Hall of Famer, the man who turned Colorado into a national power and won a national championship in 1990. Mike grew up breathing football the way most kids breathe air, and he didn't just write his father's name. He went out and got his own resume. Quarterbacks coach at Colorado from 87 to 89. Quarterbacks coach at North Carolina from 90 to 91. Then spent 6 years as a college and pro scout
the man,
Chicago Bears.
The myth, the legend.
He became the director of pro personnel for the Philadelphia
Eagles,
helping transform the organization from a 3-13 roster into a team that went to 4 consecutive NFC championship games. He was on the inside of the NFL front office, learning how teams value players, learning how GMs
Smeagol's K, man,
exactly where the leverage points are and exactly where teams are willing to bleed. And then he did something that almost nobody at his level had ever done. He walked away from it. In a salary cap era of the NFL, high-level front office executives don't just become player agents. It doesn't happen. The structure runs the other way. You build power on the team side, you accumulate cap knowledge, and you become a GM or something. Nobody leaves the position that he was in to go represent players. But Mike did it anyway. Think about what that means for a second. He knew how to build the cap, he knew how to structure deals, he knew every trick GMs use to bury money, push risk onto players and protect their organizations from guaranteed liabilities. He knew it because he did it from the other side of the table. And now he was negotiating against those same people. His client list tells you everything about the range of this man's vision. Kurt Warner, undrafted, Cub, played arena football, became a Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL MVP, Hall of Famer. McCarthy was there. Aaron Foster, undrafted free agent who became one of the most dynamic running backs of his era, and McCarthy was there. And now Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall pick, one of the best pass rushers in the entire NFL, just signed a 4-year, $180 million extension with $141 $241 million guaranteed. McCartney negotiated it. The man doesn't miss, but every single client, every single negotiation, they all trace back to the same philosophy, the same fingerprint that you can find in every contract Mike McCartney has ever touched. Guarantees over everything, not headlines, not APY, not the big splashy numbers that show up on the front page of ESPN. Guarantees, because the headline number is the story, the guarantee is the real check, and McCartney was always more interested in the guarantee stories. His entire philosophy was simple: don't take the long-term deal early. That reduces your leverage. Let the tag years come and turn those tag years into fully guaranteed cash year after year while your value builds. Hit free agency at the exact moment the market needs your position most, and when you get there, don't ask for the highest APY number. Ask for the guarantee. Basically, get the money locked in and then set yourself up to come back to the table again in 2 to 3 years and do the whole thing over.
And like I said, players deserve it. You know what I mean? Players deserve it. I mean, what is the Dallas Cowgirls without the players? What is the New York Giants without the players? The players mean way more than the freaking owners. You know what I mean, bro? Half of these owners that's around today didn't have to work for nothing. They daddy handed down to their daddy handed it down to them, and then their daddy handed down to them, and their daddy handed out to them. They keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? They keep it in the family. Them motherfuckers ain't had to work for nothing. Them motherfuckers just got the wealth that their father, you know what I'm saying, that their father produced. Called generational wealth, y'all. You know what I mean? Generational wealth. Most of these motherfuckers, bro, that's owners, you know what I mean, don't know what the freak they're doing. You feel me? You know what I mean? Same thing for the Buss family. I'm so glad that Jeannie Buss, the Buss family, is no longer the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, because them motherfuckers did not know what they were doing. You know what I mean? Once old boy, the Buss dude died, you know what I'm saying? He handed down, you know what I mean, the wealth to his family. Freaking family destroyed the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Had no clue what they were doing. Don't know about business, don't know about nothing. I'm not gonna say they don't know about nothing, but shoot, the way they was running the Lakers looked like they didn't have a clue in the dang world what the freak they was doing. You know what I'm saying? All Jeannie Buss did was inherited daddy's money.
Repeat and get paid.
You know, we're trying to make sure that whatever the contract says, you get every penny. And, you know, how you structure it is so important. And that's where guaranteed dollars, whether it's in the form of a signing bonus or the base salary being guaranteed, if you can get every dollar, that's what's important.
Now, there's a group of people who gonna watch this video and say, okay, but Cousins is not all that. He's good, he's solid, but he's not a franchise-changing quarterback. And honestly, they're gonna have a point. We'll get into that. But here's the counter argument that McCartney will give you, and it's
hey, they posted.
So what?
That's what they supposed to do.
Has 32 starting quarterback jobs.
Parents supposed to pass down the legacy to their children. I'm gonna do the same exact thing when I open up businesses. All I'm saying is most of these people don't know what the freak they're doing when it comes to sports. They have no knowledge of it. They're just inheriting their dad's business, and you know what I'm saying? It goes down from generation to generation to generation. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It goes down from generation to generation to generation.
And there are maybe 8 to 10 genuinely elite quarterbacks at any given moment, which means there are 20-something teams out there desperately searching for a quarterback who can manage a game, protect the ball, put up numbers, and not to be a locker room problem. And Kirk Cousins checks every single one of those boxes. In the market where actually,
hey, why I keep yawning, bro?
Never hit free agency.
I ain't even tired.
System specifically designed to prevent it. A competent, available quarterback in his prime is worth whatever the desperation of the moment demands. And Mike understood the market better than the market understood itself. And just when everyone thought the Achilles tear at 35 in Green Bay was the final chapter, just when a narrative machine had already started writing the obituary, Mike McCartney picked up the phone and dialed a number with a 404 area code. And the next stop was ATL.
That's crazy.
So by March 2024, Kirk hadn't played a game since October. In his last contract,
he was cool. He was cool.
So by March 2024,
look at him. He cool, bro. Shit, I got my guaranteed money. You know what I mean? I'm guaranteed. You know what I mean? He getting paid regardless, no matter about the Achilles. That motherfucker don't even look like he care about the Achilles tear. I got my guaranteed money. Okay, on the next season.
Played a game since October.
Look at him.
His last contract had.
That motherfucker don't care.
Most quarterbacks in that situation are watching film from their couch and praying a team calls. Most quarterbacks at 35 with a torn Achilles in free agency are lucky to get a 1-year approval deal somewhere in the bottom of the league. And then, out of nowhere, he signed a 4-year, $180 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons.
Another monster payday for Kirk. Gets $100 million guaranteed.
Wow.
Damn.
$100
$90 million in 2024 and 25. 2025 plus another $10 million in 2026.
What the Falcons paid Kirk Cousins. They could have got Cam Newton, Justin Fields.
Hey, Cam Newton, you know what I'm saying? You're not. Yeah, Cam Newton was better than Kirk Cousins, but you had a short prime. Hey, Cam Newton, you remember I'm back? I'm back. Y'all remember that mother effer? Coming back to Carolina, we thought Cam was back. Next minute, I knew that mother effer was gone. You know what I'm saying? Next minute, I knew that mother effer was gone. I'm like, what the heck happened to Cam? I thought Cam was back. I'm like, oh, shoot. There go that boy Cam. Boy Cam back in the Carolina jersey. Oh, shoot. You know what I mean? I'm back. No, the freak you wasn't, boy.
And Michael Vick.
All they needed was a quarterback, and they now
You got sit back.
4 years, 180, fully guaranteed, including $50 million signing bonus and $90 million of that.
That boy thought he was the old Cam.
The first 2 seasons alone.
Oh my
His
God!
very first press conference, people wanted to know.
You were
about
pathetic
that
when you came back.
No, I think certainly the physical was outside of the Achilles. You know, everything else passed as expected.
$100 million
Obviously, the
guaranteed.
doesn't pass right now.
That is
and
crazy.
Expect to
crazy work
here in the next few months.
He literally walked into his own introductory press.
Like I said, man. Y'all make sure y'all go follow. Y'all make sure y'all go join. You know what I'm saying? That Dynasty, man. You know what I mean? The pot is already cooking. The pot, the kettle, the pot and the kettle and the pot and the kettle is already cooking. You know what I mean? So Dynasty, like I said, y'all, is in the description down below. Or I could just put it right here, y'all.
$100 million rich.
Discord.
If Mike McCartney isn't already in some kind of Hall of Fame, we need to build one specifically for him. Now let's talk about Atlanta for a second. The Falcons had missed the playoffs in the previous 6 seasons.
That's my PSN.
2024. 6 years of nothing. They were desperate for a quarterback. And in the free agency market where the high-end options were thin, where the choices were Kirk Cousins coming off of Achilles, or basically nobody good, Atlanta went all in. And for about 5 weeks, everything was fine. Cousins was in Atlanta. The offense was being installed. Raheem Morris was talking about Super Bowls. The city was excited. And then, on night 1 of the 2024 draft, the Falcons
Penis Jr.
Michael Penix Jr.
Well, there it is.
Wow. Washington.
Did the same thing. Raiders did the same thing, bro. The same thing.
MPJ with the 8th pick, just 32 days after writing Kirk Cousins a $50 million signing bonus check. Something didn't make sense. And the most disappointing part, they didn't even tell him until they were on the clock. Cousins got a phone call in real time that they were about to take Michael, while the entire league was watching. Kirk, for his part, handled it the only way Kirk Cousins knows how to handle things. Very composed.
So I just believe that I got to steward what comes my way and control what I can control, which is what a steward does. But it's more like copy and paste than it is something new for me, because this goes so far back to kind of how it always has been.
Now fast forward to the actual season. Cousins opened as the starter, looking like the Falcons' investment was going to pay off. Over the first 9 games,
500 yards in one game,
touchdowns with a 101.9 passer rating, and led Atlanta to a 6-3 record. The Penix pick was looking like a waste.
I'm telling you, it wasn't Kirk, bro.
The Falcons had a legitimate shot at the
Dang.
NFC South, and people who said that he couldn't come back from the Achilles, they were getting quieter by the week. And then his body reminded everybody that he was still that 36-year-old man, and the ankle started giving him trouble. To add on top of that, week 10 against the Saints, he took a brutal hit that added shoulder and elbow damage on top of everything else. And suddenly, he isn't just managing Achilles recovery now. It's the shoulder and the elbow that were doing him absolutely no favor every time he tries to throw a football. And he even described the ankle situation in the most Kirk Cousins way humanly possible. He said the ankle was fine, but not quite.
This sounds strange to say, but the rest of my ankle, it was like the rest of my ankle still needed to figure out how to be an ankle again.
Brother, what the hell does that even mean? From that point on, it was a disaster. Over the next 5 games, he threw for 0 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Dang.
With a 63.8 passer rating. The Falcons went from 6-3 to 7-7, and we're watching their playoff hopes evaporate.
I try to tell people, I said the only I'm telling you, watch how Kirk go to the freaking Las Vegas Raiders and ball. It is the Atlanta Falcons. I tried to tell people, bro. See, one time, like I said, me and my boy Keon, we was arguing. We always arguing about the Dirty Birds, you know, because he think they're going to win the championship. Yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't even know that they tore down the church to build their stadium. So when he told me that, I was like, oh, so that's why y'all mother effers always unlucky. Because you tore down the church to build your raggedy stadium. You think God gonna let y'all win the championship if you tore down his house? You tore down my house just to build a raggedy stadium? No wonder y'all mother effers been getting belt to booty. Now I understand why. I didn't even know. When Keon told me that, I was like, oh, that all makes sense now. You mother effers ain't never gonna win a day in your life. You tore down a church to build your stadium. That right there, that's crazy right there. You're cursed.
Every incomplete pass and
You're
every
cursed.
turn on the ball.
You are cursed.
NFL in interceptions for the season, and by then something had to give. So on December 17th,
Watch, I'm telling y'all, watch, y'all, watch how he go to the Las Vegas Raiders and ball. Watch y'all, watch. It's the Falcons. I'm telling y'all, it's something about the Falcons, bro. When he told me that, I was like, okay, that right there is the reason why you mother effers just can't win. You mother effers is cursed.
Be the starter for the final 3 weeks of the season. And the next morning, Cousins responded.
Going to make a change at quarterback. There's a standard that I have for myself, that the team has for me. That unfortunately, I wasn't playing up to that standard consistently enough. It is what it is. And
he still got $100 million guaranteed. At the end of the day, he's still the guy. He still has $100 million guaranteed, and there's nothing that you can do about it. That mother effer don't care. He getting up there like he care, but inside, I don't care. I got $100 million guaranteed. That man is making $100 million just sitting down. That's the easiest $100 million ever known to mankind.
Our team,
he robbed you, mother.
Last 3 to get in the playoff.
And then the most shocking part, because this story literally cannot stop being insane. The Falcons publicly confirmed that they were very comfortable carrying Kirk as a $27.5 million backup for 2025. For a man sitting on the bench, that exact same role he was drafted into back in 2012.
Why you hate your life, man, Riley?
Started, except now he's getting
$27.5
million to do it.
Or sister.
That don't sound too bad to me. But here's the thing: Cousins didn't stay on the bench forever because
I hate your life.
got hurt. And guess who stepped back in and went 5-2 as a starter? The backup. And in the postseason press conference, he sat down and described himself with one word: rejuvenated. But it didn't matter. At the 2026 NFL Combine, Falcons GM Ian Cunningham confirmed that Atlanta was going to release Kirk on the first day of the new league year. When it was all said and done, Cousins had earned around $100 million for 22 starts, and Atlanta was left holding roughly $35 million in dead cap money, paying a man who was no longer on their roster.
As your boyfriend broke up with you. Check it out, Riley. Let me talk to you right quick. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, and one thing I tend to understand, Riley, bro, is if somebody is meant for you, don't make fun of her, bro. Let me talk to her, bro. If somebody is meant for you, it's going to stay. It's not going to be so hard to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? Because usually that when it comes to dudes and girls, you know what I mean, getting broken up with, you know what I mean, they start, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do in my life. Oh my God, I just don't know, man. I don't know. You said I'm a him? Hold on. You said you're a him? It's a guy. Hold on. Because my boyfriend broke up. What the freak?
Somewhere in all of that, buried under the Penix drama, the benching, the angle that forgot it was an ankle, is the most remarkable part of this entire chapter. Not a single dollar of that guaranteed money was ever taken back, because Mike McCartney made sure of it years ago. The backup label became literal, and somehow even then Kirk Cousins still got paid like he was a starter. So when Atlanta released him, they swallowed $35 million in dead cap, and then turn around and sign Tua, turn the ball over. And that should tell you everything about the Falcons at the moment. But now, Kirk's run was done. A 37-year-old quarterback with 2 mediocre seasons in Atlanta, the football world fully expected for real this time to be the end of the Kirk Cousins era. And then, on April 2nd, one day after April Fool's Day...
Bro, look at this. Hold on, y'all. Look, like, what the freak? Like, this right here is great. Kirk Cousins was signed a 5-year, $172 million deal with the Raiders. That in reality, a 1-year fully guaranteed $20 million deal that also contains a club. Oh my God.
A tweet dropped that read like a joke someone forgot
this
to
is
delete.
Crazy.
Kirk Cousins signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, 5-year, $172 million. That type of bag for a 37-year-old who looked like he was declining? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought this was some kind of prank. I even double checked the date and was like, maybe it's just a late April Fool's joke. People on X were doing the math in their heads and coming up with the numbers that made no sense. 5 years, $172 million? That will make him the third highest earner in NFL history, right up there with Matthew Stafford and A-Rod. But here's the thing, it's not a $172 million deal. Let me explain it to you. Because the actual structure of this contract is somehow the most Mike McCartney thing that has ever happened. On paper, yes, it's 5 years, $172 million. In reality, a 1-year deal worth $20 million in fully guaranteed money. That's it. That's the whole thing. And here's how the math works. The Falcons still owe Cousins $10 million from his Atlanta contract, money that was guaranteed and couldn't be taken back. But there was an offset clause, meaning that if Cousins signed somewhere else, whatever his new team paid him will reduce the amount that Atlanta owed. So McCartney did what McCartney always does. He found a way to make the offset irrelevant. The Raiders set Cousins' 2026 base salary to a league minimum at just $1.3 million, which means Atlanta is still on the hook for that $8.7 million for that remaining $10 million guarantee, because the offset barely touches it. And then Las Vegas separately agreed to pay Cousins a fully guaranteed $10 million roster bonus on the third day of the 2027 year league. Added up, $8.7 million from Atlanta, $1.3 million from Vegas, plus $10 million in the future roster bonus. Total value in 2026, $20 million, fully guaranteed, no risk, and basically the Falcons are paying Cousins to play for the Raiders. The deal also technically included a 2-year
paying Cousins to play for the
option for 2027 and
this man finessed the heck out y'all.
2 void years in 2029 and 2030.
Mother ain't on y'all team, y'all still paying him.
Which is why the number says $172 million. But that number will never exist in the real world. But it will live in NFL record books forever, because this is not the 11th consecutive season that Kirk Cousins' contract has been fully guaranteed.
All of his dollars are guaranteed.
That boy made more money than Tom Brady.
Career salary, 99% of it has been fully guaranteed.
Now you're probably wondering, why would the Raiders do this? Because they have the #1 overall pick in the draft, and they're almost certainly going to take Fernando. And Mendoza is special. He led Indiana to an undefeated 16-0 season and their first national championship. He threw 41 touchdowns against just 6 interceptions on a 72% completion rate. So why not just start Mendoza immediately? Well, because Clint Kubiak, the first-year Raiders head coach and the man who worked with Cousins in Minnesota as a quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator from 2019 to 2021, had a very specific and very public philosophy about this.
You don't want him to start from day one. You love him to be able to learn behind somebody.
So he ain't starting.
I know, like I said before, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes they have to play from day one. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're bringing in an individual, drafting a guy that, you know, is mature enough to handle some adversity, whether it's him starting the first game or him starting the first game year 2.
Now,
hey, bro, nobody ain't trying to do that, bro. That boy Fernando Mendoza, he trying to start now. What the freak is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? All that mature and all that. Man, F that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know you wish he could just control the draft. I know he was probably like, please don't pick me, please. I think he got drafted. I think he's probably he's going to be the first quarterback in history to get drafted. First overall and don't start his first year. You know what I'm saying? Tell me somebody that got drafted, you know what I mean, #1 overall and didn't start their first year. So you tell him he's going to sit him down, guy? He was like the best QB in the draft. He's literally the best QB in the draft. You being greedy, could have just let him go to the Jets, bro. Let him go to a team, bro, that just needs a team. That man ain't trying to sit down his first year. That man trying to start, bro. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about, boy? This ain't no second round pick. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no second round pick. This ain't no third round pick, fourth round. The #1 pick in the 2026 NFL draft.
31st, and the Raiders signed Cousins on April 2nd.
Frick is we talking about here?
This was their plan from the jump going into the season.
But they smoking on that dopey dog
all over again. But this time, Kirk is not in a blind.
And they mostly smoking on some thrash.
We all want to play, I think, but I made this clear to Clint that, you know, the best player needs to play. If that's not me, I don't want to be out there. I don't think that's the best thing for the team.
That mother effer don't care. It's not me, and I don't want to be out there. You just
By
robbed.
now, we've seen Kirk go from a 4th round backup to the 3rd highest paid player in NFL history. But we have to have a real conversation because the truth gets dark. Looking at the resume, 14 seasons in the NFL, over 40,000 career passing yards, more than 270 career passing touchdowns, 4 Pro Bowl selections, a career completion percentage sitting just under 67%, placing him among the most accurate quarterbacks of his generation by volume. He has thrown for over 4,000 yards in a season so many times, it stopped being news. He has been across the bulk of his career a top 10 to top 12 quarterback in the NFL. And before you get to going crazy on me, I'm talking about the durable, consistent, efficient, and genuinely difficult to replace. And before 2023, his injury history was essentially clean. He missed almost nothing, showed up every week, and gave his team a legitimate chance to win. This is not a backup. This is a true starting quarterback if you ask me. But here's the other side of those numbers. 1 playoff win. 1 out of almost, at this point, somewhere around 4 to 5 postseason starts. His signature moment came on January 5th, 2020, the Vikings against the Saints, NFC wildcard, overtime, down to the final drive. Cousins found Adam Thielen on a 43-yard dime on the sideline to put the Vikings in the red zone, and then hit Kyle Rudolph on a 4-yard touchdown pass, and they won 26-20. Kirk Cousins finally had his first playoff win 5 years after becoming a full-time starter, and then the next week, they lost to the 49ers, 27-10, and the narrative resets like it never left. 0 Super Bowl appearances, 0 conference championships, 0 moments where you could look and say, that's why they paid him that much. Not 1 in 14 years. Kirk Cousins never lied to anybody. He never told Washington he was Patrick Mahomes. He never told Minnesota or Atlanta he was going to deliver them a Super Bowl. But what he did do was show up every week, threw for his yards, posted his completion percentage, won his regular season games, and gave every organization the honest, consistent product that he's always been. It was the teams, Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta, now Vegas, who decided that good was worth franchise-altering money. It was the market, desperate teams, thin quarterback pools, skyrocketing salary caps that created the conditions for this to happen. Kirk Cousins didn't hold anybody at gunpoint. Mike McCartney just knew exactly how to operate in the market. Before that $84 million deal in 2018, nobody had ever forced a fully guaranteed multi-year quarterback contract through to completion. After Kirk Cousins, the financial landscape of the NFL shifted. Guaranteed money became the new standard. Player leverage became a real thing. The backup from the 4th round, pick 102, the guy who spent his first 3 seasons invisible, who played on franchise tags while everyone laughed, who got drafted over, who got benched, then cut and walked into another city's building collecting another bag. $340 million later, 14 seasons, 1 playoff win. Now who's the real GOAT?
Freak you talk about. Who's the real GOAT though? Sitting back and laughing, saying how they did this and how this happened, and he don't deserve. It don't matter what you say. Kirk Cousins won that life. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins won that life. It don't matter what you say. He won. You know what I'm saying? He won. You feel me? So at the end of the day, $341 million laughing to the bank, and all y'all doing is talking. That motherfucker won. You know what I mean? 14 years. You got to understand, all you have to do is play over 10 seasons and you get paid from the NFL your whole life. You know what I mean? $341 million. No quarterback has ever made more than him other than Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford. You know what I mean? He won that life. He won that life. I can't say nothing. I can't say you don't deserve it. I can't say at the end of the day it's in his bank account. You know what I mean? But anyways, your butt take it easy.